everybody. Welcome. I'm Natalie, and this is Scientology Life After a Cult. We're here. I'm back. Hello, everybody. Can we hear me today? Remember yesterday? How weird was that? We're going to talk about it. But today, we're going to talk about how actor Jason Bateman found himself at Scientology's Winter Wonderland, where Scientology has lost control. Real Housewives of New York cast member and Scientologist Rebecca Minkoff made a shocking statement about Danny Masterson, and she's being called out about it. And a beloved member of our community is calling it quits on YouTube due to what? Scientology's harmful practice of disconnection. So I'm also calling it bullying. We're going to take a look at that and so much more on today's Scientology Culty Recap. Aloha, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you to the moderators for helping out. I see you all members there. I'm glad you can hear me. Yesterday was crazy. Meant to be, though. I needed to take the day off. We will talk more about that later. Right now, let's jump into a little bit of South Africa news, you guys, because stuff is popping off let's look at Scientology South Africa. There's a front group, Scientology front group. Take a look at how they are hooking people. This is what caught my attention about this. Mind and Communication Essentials Workshop, right? Doesn't sound like, oh, that sounds super culty till you get down here to Dianetics and Scientology Center on the bottom. But the buttons they're using to get people to come in are things like understanding how your mind works in details. What are the two parts that make up the mind? How can you effectively reduce the impact of past trauma? And then you get communication skills. What's the formula that makes up communication? How do you talk to an angry person? Learn to master the art of communication. Take my money. No, do not take my money. I'm not giving you my money, Scientology. It's interesting, and I thought you guys might find it interesting to see the buttons that Scientology uses to hook people and then rub their face in what they call their ruin, what's ruining their life, and show them how Scientology can handle that. Right, Anna? Sneaky. I know. They're so sneaky. Over there pushing buttons, trying to make like it's not what they're making it, what it actually is. It is Scientology. Yes, me and Taz. Natalie is up and running this morning, at least for now. You never know. But for now. Oh, Kelsey, I'm glad you're here, and I hope you feel better today. You having a rough pregnancy day? Gina, don't go boycotting Jason Bateman just yet. Do not. We're going to get to that. We are going to get to that. Okay, so now that we're like mildly irritated by what's happening in South Africa, we got to take a quick look at, this was interesting. Look at this, you guys. Okay, who watches American Horror Story? Throw one in the chat if you've ever watched American Horror Story. I think it's on FX. I've watched it plenty. If you're on the replay, jump in those comments and participate. Please participate. American Horror Story has multiple seasons. Okay, Gina's watching it. Hermie, James Steele, Paratology, Cubana Chica. Not today. Good. Pink Skies. Okay, I'm not the only one. Now, I am behind on some of their recent seasons because, I don't know, I felt like they kind of lost the plot a little bit after they made some major changes, but it's still a great show. And did you know that American Horror Story, that there were pieces of it? Listen to this. American Horror Story cult had creepy real-life inspiration from Manson to Scientology. Now, you guys who are American Horror Story fans, you know that they did an episode called Cult, right? I don't know if you remember that. So it talks about that, how the Manson family girls dress much like Winter does in that episode. So like that's the Manson influence. But here's it. Let's get to, what I'm interested in, which is the Scientology influence. Where is it? Andy Warhol, cult of celebrity. It just was influenced by a lot of cults, even David Koresh, Jim Jones. Where is it? Did I pass it? I thought it was on the first page. Oh God, the Charles Manson stuff that inspired this is crazy. But when I watched the episode, I was not thinking a little bit of it. Oh, here we go. The pinky finger ritual is derivative of a Scientology practice. I don't actually agree with that because I don't know what they're talking about. I remember they would like hook pinkies, but no, that's not derivative of a Scientology practice. But let's see what they're saying. They're saying the pinky finger ritual in which members of Kai's cult link little fingers and answer probing questions about their biggest fears. And it could be compared to the auditing process used in Scientology. Okay, I get it. I'll give them that. It is similar in terms of asking questions and not having boundaries. And it's interesting that it was influenced as well by Charles Manson, who we know got to start in Scientology, right? Paralyzed, Manson to Scientology sounds like the same thing. Absolutely. I feel like a lion today. The hair is just doing what the hair does today. But I feel like, oh, my lion. Oh, it's really like giving lion to me. Or rawr. All right, where are we at, you guys? Oh, I know where we are. You guys, I need to read you a statement from Cults and Atheists here on YouTube. Some of you have seen this, some of you have not. Let's take a look and just go ahead and read it. Let's read it together. Cults and Atheists. Jenny Strom, you guys remember her, and she does the channel with Russell, Jenny and Russell. The statement says, to our beloved subscribers and the wonderful community we have become a part of, it is with heavy heart and after a lot of deep reflection that we are choosing to take down our channel from YouTube by the end of the year. Jenny has been talking to her immediate family and has been under a lot of pressure. Now, you guys may or may not know this, but her immediate family is still in Scientology. So that's what that is referencing there. She has been told that she will not be declared a suppressive person if we take down the channel. In order to attempt to save the relationship with her family member and give Scientology one last chance to live up to their word, we've decided that this is the best course of action at this time. We really appreciate all of your support and time and how you kept our channel a positive, safe place for people to talk about their life experiences and be heard. We really appreciate all of our guests who have agreed to go public with their stories and our moderators who've worked diligently to keep our channel a welcoming place. We will sincerely miss interacting with all of you and hope you continue to support each other as a community. Please know that this was a very difficult decision for us in order to avoid being the same as those we have been speaking out against. Family has to come first. We hope you understand our decision and wish you all the best. Jenny and Russell. So, Scientology basically is weaponizing, as they do, disconnection. If you want to stay in touch with your family, if you don't want to be declared a suppressive person and be cut off from your family and friends, specifically your family, then you have to take down your YouTube channel. Sit in that craziness for a minute. This organization, this church gets to dictate how someone no longer a member, a former member, what they do with their life, what they do with their voice, how they choose to use their voice or their platform, because of Scientology's abusive practice of disconnection and weaponizing this whole idea of declaring people as suppressive persons and suppressive people. First off, I so understand this as well. This making the decision to take the channel down to maintain connections with family. I'm not going to fault anybody for that. You know, your family is your family, and it's such an individual choice when it comes to this, especially as someone who's a content creator here on YouTube and you're talking about Scientology and you're sharing stories on the regular. It's such a difficult situation to have to be in, especially when there are close family members. So I understand it, and I support Jenny and Russell's decision. I do not support what Scientology is doing. So let's not get that twisted. But I understand. And We'll see what Scientology does. Will they follow through on what they said, or will they not? And I'm sure if they don't, Jenny and Russell will be back. They can always make a new channel. But my heart goes out to them, and Jenny and Russell's, they've done some great content. Go over to their channel, check it out, watch some of the videos and stuff before it's all taken down. CO Bilf, I hope they back up all their old content, re-upload for when Scientology goes back on its deal. Yes, I agree. I hope so too. Jen Kess, happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. I'm glad you're here on your birthday at Alive in the morning. I am honored. Let's see. Oh yeah, Kelly, you'll catch up plenty. You're only 8 minutes behind. That's amazing. Yeah, everybody, if you feel so moved, let's give some hearts, some happy birthdays to Jen in the chat. I love that. Scientology up north. I feel for Jenny, but must trust to Scientology. My trust to Scientologists is 0%. Yeah, exactly. What a difficult situation to be in. Think about the hurt, the pain that you're put in. I know what my truth is. I know what I believe. I know what I feel called to speak about and share. But I can't do that if I want to talk to my family member. Scientology, Office of Special Affairs. We may as well wake you up early. David Miscavige, the leader of Scientology, please wake up your spy branch. Office of Special Affairs, rise and shine. My nose is a little runny today. Okay. I'm allergic to OSA and Scientology BS. Office of Special Affairs. Okay, so here's the deal. This is exactly why people think you're a cult and know that Scientology is a cult. It's not better. It's not better because you're going to allow this person supposedly, allegedly, maybe maintain relationships with their parent. I mean, can you imagine if you belong to any other religion, you're like, you know what, I'm not down with that. Maybe even you speak out about it. Well, that religion, did they make their people like, oh, you can't talk to your family member because they're speaking out about said religion? It's insanity. It's complete and utter insanity. This is what you guys are doing. This is what you're working $47 a week for in the Sea Organization. Why? This? And does it help? Because let's just look at history. Look at how many people have been speaking out about Scientology. Let's be honest, since day one. Back in the day, they would do it in the media. With the rise of the internet, blogs, YouTube, all of it. It's just been growing, and word gets out. Even more and more of us come forward, and there's just more and more people sharing their Scientology story. And I get it. You guys are getting desperate because the well is drying up. Second, third generation Scientologists don't want to pony up for that billion-year contract. They are not down with it. But doing stuff like this is culty. What happened to that event you guys had and people were briefed on, hey, communicate with your family members? What happened to that? You guys are so full of it. It's not even funny. So that is the news there. And she's done a great job. Both she and Russell have spoken out and shared so much, and they've made an impact. And nothing Scientology does can take that away because it already exists and it is there. So well done, Jenny. I want to give you a hug so bad because I know how horrible this is. Mock says she already spoke out and it will stay out there. So Scientology, at least pretending to be willing to compromise, shows that the family is pushing back probably. Yes, I would agree with that. But, they have to take the channel down so all the content goes away. But it's still been out there. People have been exposed to it. Absolutely, they have. Thank you guys for giving Jen those happy birthdays. I love that. Exactly, Cubana Chica. So much for Davy's recent meeting in Coldwater saying, connect with family. It comes with strings attached. It does. It does. It really does. Okay, now let's move on over to a little bit of Real Housewives of New York and Scientologist Rebecca Minkoff, daughter of Dr. David Minkoff, the one involved in the lawsuit because of his involvement with his second death of a Scientologist, a young woman. This man seems to be like the grim reaper of young female Scientologists. Granted, there's been two, but too many. Absolutely. So let's look at this. What's happening? Why are people are talking? What did Rebecca Minkoff say to possibly upset so many people? Rebecca Minkoff makes shock comment about disgraced Danny Masterson. Rebecca Minkoff made a shocking statement about disgraced actor Danny Masterson when asked about their connection. So somebody must have been like, hey, what's up with you and your relationship with Danny Masterson, who's in prison for doing what he did? Well, the 43-year-old fashion designer clarified her relationship to the convicted artist when asked about how they are both Scientologists. So, in a recent podcast episode that she was on, Rebecca Minkoff said that Danny Masterson was incredibly supportive of me. Incredibly supportive. And it was that statement of Rebecca Minkoff going on and basically like, oh, Danny Masterson, he was so supportive of me. He did this and that. He's just so supportive. Read the room, Rebecca. So there was pushback. There was pushback by people like, hey, why are you saying that? Like, even if he was, I'm sure he was, right? There was a time when he was. At least from her perspective, like that was the reality. But it's kind of like with so many victims out there, not just the ones that he was convicted of. Let's not forget there were several women who came forward with a very similar story and experience with Danny Masterson. Several. So I don't know, maybe you just don't want to go around saying how great he was to you, or at least, too soon. I don't know. It just doesn't seem smart to me. And so she wanted to clarify those things. So the Real Housewives of New York City star, who was entangled in controversy after her pregnancy scandal, because let's not forget, Rebecca Minkoff pretended that she was pregnant and she didn't know who the daddy was, because that's funny, especially when you have cast members who are trying to get pregnant. That like really backfired. That's just some serious crazy math there. So then she says, she noted that they no longer communicate and have not crossed paths for a decade. I haven't seen or spoken to Danny in over 10 years, Minkoff said of Masterson. When I started out, he was incredibly supportive of me. I knew no one. She said that the 70s star alum introduced her to girls and actresses that were excited to wear my product in the early days of her career. And that's all I can say, she concluded. I didn't participate in the case. I don't have the details. Girl, you can say all you want. You don't know anything about it. You have to even know people who are involved. It's like there's like a circle of people. So she's just trying to completely, back up on what she said and be like, well, no, I've not seen him in 10 years. No. We don't have a relationship. It is not a thing. I've not seen that man in a decade. I don't know what you guys are talking about. Too late. It's already out there. You said it. Everybody heard it. You know what else everybody heard? Everybody heard Katie Holmes pushing back on Tom Cruise. And in so many words, it's a stretch, but I walked away with, does she think he's a deadbeat dad? Now, I don't think he's a deadbeat dad in the traditional sense of the word, in that he's paying for her college and I'm sure has to pay a certain amount of child support. And I'm sure that he does that. But y'all remember there was this story floating around that, Suri Cruise inherited all this money from Tom Cruise. Let's look at a clip of a video from Aaron at Growing Up in Scientology about how Katie Holmes denies rumors, doesn't deny what she doesn't deny and what she has denied. This is interesting if you guys didn't catch this.
We have never seen Katie deny these allegations.
Oops. Hold on. Let's do a little refresh there.
We have never seen Katie deny these allegations, even though, in my opinion, publicly having information in the press, like if you're Katie Holmes, right? And you have the tabloid press reporting that your daughter's father has disowned her. That's hurtful. That is something that if I'm Katie Holmes, I know that is hurtful to my daughter. If my daughter's friends read that and people in my daughter's life think that is hurtful, but she's never denied it. But now she issues a denial. about something. Anyway, you'll see where I'm going with this. We're going to go one step at a time.
Aaron lays out the whole thing and how he came to that conclusion. And we talked about this the other day, but I did not think of it from the perspective that he took of she's denying this. But let's talk about what she has not denied. All of the other allegations of Tom Cruise not having a relationship with his daughter, none of those things. She's not out there saying that's not true. She's not. She's out there denying this one about the money, which again feels like saying, look, don't be giving this dude credit for something he did not do. There is not a trust fund that she just inherited when she turned 18. And also, my perspective is that's dangerous. You know, this girl just turned 18 and telling the world that she inherited millions of dollars. It just doesn't seem like a smart thing to do for her own safety. But I love that Katie Holmes denied it, because I have to agree with that perspective that that's true. She hasn't denied a lot of things. This is the first thing I can remember that she's kind of pushed back on and denied. I think it's interesting. Tell me what you guys think about that. Asen says, but he is. Tom thinks his relationship and standing in the cult is more important than his own child. Yeah, absolutely. It is a belief in Scientology that Scientology is working towards the greater good for like eternity. So you might need to forfeit a relationship with your family, your children, your parents, your whoever, this lifetime in order to ensure that they don't end up at the implant station lifetime after lifetime after lifetime. Because in Scientology, it's a belief that you go to the implant station where your memories are wiped and you are given ways that you should be thinking to keep you in a box on Earth. So, yes. Jolie says, I don't think Katie gave him an option. She didn't want him turning her daughter against her. Exactly. That's why she hightailed it out of there. She made like a banana and split. Girl had a plan. She got her dad to help her. She waited till Tom Cruise was out of the country, fired the security, came in with her own, nothing to do with Scientology. Because remember, there were Scientology spies in their home spying for Scientology, for reporting back to David Miscavige about what they're doing. You know, he was keeping tabs on Tom Cruise, still is, because he didn't want Tom Cruise running off again. That's why they tried to find him a wife, why Scientology took the task of finding Tom Cruise a wife. They didn't want Nicole Kidman 2.0 happening, where Tom gets pulled away from Scientology for almost a decade due to his marriage to Nicole Kidman, when she did some in Scientology, and I do believe she did the first 2 operating thetan levels, stopped just shy of Xenu and body thetans, and then was like, no, I'm not down with this. I don't want to do this. So yeah, they don't want that happening again. So like, we're going to find him. We're going to, Sea Org members, that's our job, right? Find relationships for Tom Cruise. And they did, and Katie Holmes was part of that. So I guess from the perspective of Scientology, at least she didn't drag Tom Cruise away. But it still did not end well for Tom Cruise, who apparently cannot help but continue to marry suppressive women. Mimi Rogers, supposedly a suppressive person, his first wife. Nicole Kidman, supposedly a suppressive person, had her children turned against her because of that. And now Katie Holmes doesn't have really a relationship with his daughter because of Katie Holmes left Scientology. So who really holds all the power? For an organization that says, like, we can give people the ability to communicate about anything with anyone, to confront and scatter suppression, we really don't see that. Julie Markham says, I'm so glad Katie got herself and her child away from Scientology. I would have been afraid to let Suri spend time with him. Yeah, exactly. Talk to Feral Cheryl. Father a Scientologist, mother not. But Cheryl growing up would see her dad. And Feral Cheryl can tell you firsthand what that was like. And that is the kind of a life and future that Katie Holmes saved Suri from. That's right, Marcy. Cult of Scientology lies. Asen says Tom is the biggest SP producer. Everyone he touches, poof, turns into a suppressive person. It does seem to be that way, doesn't it? I mean, I don't know. Name another Scientologist. For a man who is supposed to be the most dedicated Scientologist, the cream of the crop, okay? When it comes to what Scientology can do, it's Tom Cruise and his success. Dude's been married 3 times, all to suppressive people. And I'm not even throwing shade at the multiple marriages. I was married twice, divorced twice, and I got a baby daddy. So I'm not throwing shade to that. I'm just saying I don't hold myself up as this stellar example of Scientology, a Scientologist, or really anybody. You know what I'm saying? My channel is not about giving relationship or marriage advice. Obviously, that is not my forte. Mimi Rogers ended up leaving Scientology, and I'm pretty sure she was declared a suppressive person. Yes, yes, yes. Mock says, if you can jump over roofs, you should be able to stay in a room with the mother of your child. Exactly. Let's just start there. How many people get divorced all the time? Like I said, I have 2 former husbands and a baby daddy, and we share children, and we figured it out. We had to figure it out. And now we've gone on vacation together with different mixes of my family. We just have this larger extended family. You figure it out because you need to figure it out for the children so that you can try to model at least relationships that are healthy and prioritizing what's important and trying to put aside those disagreements. Not the easiest thing in the world, and I'm by no means perfect at it, but I've worked at it for years with my family without freaking Scientology. So why can't Tom Cruise do that? If Scientology has all of these tools, why do you have to disconnect from people? If Scientology is so powerful, if Scientology makes the able more able and makes us all better and stronger and these amazing beings and operating thetans, why do you have to disconnect from people? Why do other people's opinions, thoughts, what they think about Scientology matter so much, have such an impact on you if you're so powerful? If your cause over matter, energy, space, and time, which is what Scientology says as you move up their what? Their bridge to total freedom. Why wouldn't you have that? But you can't. You have to cut ties. You have to not communicate with your own family. Sometimes even your own kids, your own parents. It makes no sense. Office of Special Affairs, listen to that. It doesn't make a lot of sense. Yeah, Julie, he creates suppressive people. Wouldn't that just be the way? Wouldn't that just be the way? Old Fritz, thank you. Your family sounds great. Can't be easy after divorce. No, it's not. But they're all good people. And we figured it out. We continue to figure it out. A time to change. Good point. As long as they aren't toxic to begin. My kids have relationships with dads, but it's weary. If only they were more interested. Indeed, there's those situations as well. Absolutely. That's true, Mock. The sad part is how devoted of a father he was, and then just you never see him. He did. He even talked about how like it was part of his life's purpose to be a dad. CO Bill, Scientology could start selling ability to communicate with family as an operating thetan ability. No kidding. Who's the head of OSA now? Oh, who is the head of OSA? Isn't it a woman now? Anybody know? Put it in the chat. If you're on the replay, jump in those comments. Who today is the head of the Office of Special Affairs? We'll see if we can get an answer for you there. You heading out? Lana slept over last night, you guys. Everybody say hi quick. Hi, everybody. It's a good sleepover. All right. I'll see you later. Don't forget the soup. I got it. In the bag. All right. I'll tell you guys, we'll get through the recap and I'll tell you more about Lana coming over. So anyways, yes, that's the whole, the whole thing with Katie Holmes, Tom Cruise, Siri, and how just weird and bizarre. Everybody says hi, Lana. And bye, Lana. Lana says hi and bye. Oh, Farrell Cheryl says hi. She says, Lana. Old Fritz says, hey, lovely Lana. Oh, Cece says hi. Cece Krushko. Remember, she was married to Jack Krushko in Pack Base. She had her kid, I think was Jeremy. Oh yeah, be careful with the soup in the bag. Good idea, Mama Opal. I made chicken soup yesterday, like real soup, real soup. I will tell you guys, well, remind me and we'll talk about it more later, but let's get through the recap. Okay, so did you guys see? I've been watching MD Media and his Faces of Scientology. He was at the Blue Buildings. He talked to a couple of Scientologists. And of course, it was about as crazy as you thought it would be. Joe, it is my celery juice with this morning. I put in some ginger and turmeric, add a little bit of some anti-inflammatory. But yeah, it's my celery juice. I started juicing again. I used to juice. And now, as part of my self-care, I am juicing again. Oh, so Nancy looked up for us and says the most recently known commanding officer of the Office of Special Affairs is Linda Hamill. No kidding. Linda Hamill. Wow. She's been there for a long time. Thanks, Nancy. Interesting, interesting, interesting. Cubana Chica, you're becoming quite the chef, Natalie. Well, little by little, little by little. I know, I cooked. It was crazy. I couldn't believe it. So anyways, let's take a look at this because MD Media talked to this guy. I think his name was Leonard. Very happy to be there. Take a look at this.
How you doing? My name is Matthew. What is your name?
Leonardo.
How long have you been in Scientology?
Oops. I have been there about 20 years.
32 years. 20. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
How do you like it?
Absolutely fantastic.
Okay. My name is Matthew.
Hello, Matthew.
Nice to meet you.
What are you doing this for?
I'm just documenting faces, family members that are hopefully see people in Scientology.
Yeah.
So that are looking for family members. And so if you have anything you want to say to your family members, just go ahead and talk into the camera. And
I'm very happy here.
okay. I appreciate that. Thank you very much, Leonardo. I really appreciate that.
I'm very happy here. Am I the only one that heard that like this? I'm very happy here. Yeah, I'm happy here. Yeah, no, I'm very happy here. I'm happy here. Yeah, tell my family I'm happy here. It's okay. It's okay. Am I crazy? And maybe, I don't know, maybe obviously I have bias, but that's like how I heard it. That's how it felt to me, the undertone there. Will he get in trouble? He's a public person. And if he came out of the advanced organization in Los Angeles, he's paid big money to Scientology. He's also not, he sounds Italian, so he might not even be from here or know about the videoing. So I don't think he's going to get in trouble. He's also not a staff member. He's a regular public. They are treated a little differently. I don't think he'll get in trouble, but he will probably be pulled in and debriefed, as they call it. You know, what did he say? They heard what happened. They're watching with security cameras. But he won't. But they'll let him know that you're a criminal and to stay away from you. I'm sure. Fear the MD Media. But I don't think he'll get in a lot of trouble. Yeah, Mock, thank you. Slight hostage video vibe. That's how it felt to me. That's how it felt. It felt like those hostage videos we see of people saying, David Miscavige he's just the best. He knew my name, which is amazing considering I've worked with him for 25 years, but he knew my name. Oh my gosh. I'm going to do my own hostage video like that. That's what I'm thinking about. I should do a parody of those. What do you guys think? Should we do a parody of the Scientology hostage videos of our own? With the same cheesy music in the background. I could work on my Xenu eyes. Oh, just a northern girl. Exactly. This is not the droid you're looking for. They're watching my stream. They absolutely are. They sure are. Abraham, he did seem a little frantic. Yeah, you're asking him to think about things that he should not be thinking about, like his family and while he's gone. Absolutely. Hey, Parodyatology. Thank you for being here. A time to change. It's like the SNL skit. Yes. Thank you. Okay. I'm glad because sometimes I'm like, Natalie, maybe you're just a little biased because, 35 years in this cult with 3 generations of your family and they just mess with you multiple times. So sometimes I want a gut check. I'm pretty sure like what it was giving for me, but thank you guys that it was giving that for you as well. Bob says Scientology is running out of suppressive gas. They are. It's out of control, you guys, and we're going to look at that. We're going to look at a few ways Scientology has just lost the plot. They have like they are just jumping the shark. You know, like remember that Happy Days episode where Fonzie actually jumped the shark and Happy Days went downhill from that? That has already happened. They're just continuing to be ding dongs, and we are going to look at more of how they're ding dongs. CO Bill, David Miscavige once passed me a roll under the partition when I realized there was no more toilet paper. The sun shines because of his smiles. That's a good one. I should use that. I should use that. In my parody. Hey, Rika. I saw somebody say hi, Rika. Oh, there you are. Okay. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Okay, now let's go over and look at another one because there was another guy, another Scientologist that stopped and had the conversation. This guy was a little more weary. Check it out.
Are you Scientology or
I am.
how long have you been?
50 years?
How long?
50?
50 years in Scientology.
Years.
Yes.
Were you started off in this one, or where did you originally start?
Mexico.
In Mexico. Okay.
I love it.
How long have you been in this one?
30.
So do you know Phil Anderson? He works in the cap.
I'm not willing to. I don't think that your intentions toward this are very good.
Oh, no, no.
I'm not
My intentions.
talking to
My
you.
intentions are for other family members that might be looking for family members in Scientology, just so they could see who's here.
I don't know.
No, I'm just general questions. Nothing against you personally. I'm just asking some questions.
Yeah.
I don't hold anything against you personally. I mean,
There's nothing to hold.
well,
This is a great thing. I'm sorry.
what about child auditing? Does that go on, auditing children?
I don't know.
You know, have you audited? Are you an auditor?
Yes.
Have you audited a child? Has
I'm
it
not talking to you.
has
I'm
a child
sorry.
has
I'm
a
not interested.
has a child audited you?
Are you?
I'm just asking a simple question.
Okay, bye.
Has a child audited you, sir?
And he blows.
Sir, I think I'm not interested in talking to you.
Okay.
Sorry.
Why don't you just walk away to begin with? I found this interaction to be interesting for a couple of reasons. Let's break it down. First off, you're in Scientology for 50 years and you don't know whether or not children are audited or if adults audit children. Really? You don't know that? I call shenanigans on that, sir. I call shenanigans. And here's what was interesting to me too is, which is maybe why he didn't fully walk away. Matt kept rewording the question, which, let me give you a little background here. My former Scientology friends, you might know where I'm going here. When you are security checking or interrogating somebody, you have to reword the question sometimes to get them to answer. Have you ever audited a child in Scientology? I don't know. You could reword it. Have you ever been in an auditing room with a child in Scientology? Have you ever seen a child, heard of a child getting auditing? Has any of your children gotten auditing? Have you gotten auditing as a child? Like there's different ways you can reword it. And when you're being interrogated, that's a tool that's used by the auditor / interrogator. So I thought it was interesting that Matt instinctively kind of started rewording what he was saying, which might have played a role in why the guy didn't walk away. Because he is, after 50 years in Scientology, trust me when I tell you, he is used to that. He is used to being interrogated that way. Yeah. So I think it's very interesting that he did not walk away. And the part that he really walked away from was when you started asking about kids. So I think the answer to that would be yes for him. It's yeah. A lot of people, I'm not saying this is the case with him, but in Scientology, work at Scientology schools or work at Scientology field groups like Mace Kingsley, where they do audit children. And so many children during the purification rundown taking dangerous levels of niacin and sitting in a sauna for 5 hours a day, running in the heat. That's right. MD Media, I'm using their tactics. Yeah. You did a good job. And I think you get through a lot with people too, because you are approachable. You're not approaching them with an aggressive energy, which would make them back down. Because the truth is, we do want to hear from them. We want them to interact. We want them to be in these videos so their family members can see. so the world can see. So other maybe people who are thinking about leaving Scientology can see. And again, their families and other people. Hey, Danny, good morning. How you feeling, Danny? I've been totally out of the loop. Totally out of the loop on a lot of YouTube in the last 24 hours. But I know you had gotten that concussion. So wondering how you're doing. Hop in the chat. Well, you are in the chat, but let me know if you can, and I'll look for an answer to that. Cece, that interaction brought back the feels of my mind on lockdown. Well said, Cece. I can totally see that. It's almost like the guy himself got uncomfortable with the fact that he realized he was being questioned about auditing children in a way that indicates there's something wrong with that. And I think that made him uncomfortable. Why? Because it should make him uncomfortable. It absolutely should. Lori Play says, my mama must have been a Scientologist because bless her, if she didn't get the answer she wanted, she kept asking a different way until she did. Good on your mom. My mom did that too, but my mom learned it from Scientology. So she would say, did you clean your room? I'm like, yeah, I cleaned my room. If I looked at your room, would your room be clean? No. I did that to my kids too. Did you clean your room? Yeah. If I looked at your room, would it be clean? And almost always it was no. And they would go back and they would fix it. Danny says, I still have a headache. I'll probably go to urgent care when Leah comes back. Okay. Take care, Danny. Take care. I hope you're taking it easy. So let's talk about Jason Bateman, y'all. Let's talk about Jason Bateman going to Winter Wonderland in the funniest way. Oh my goodness. I've been dying to talk about this. So Jason Bateman, I think he was on Kimmel. I'm going to have to stop this video a lot and talk over it because they love to do their little copyright dually dad. He's telling a story, so maybe we should just add some appropriate music to it to further fair use it. Let's see if this works. All right, let's listen to what happened when Jason Bateman, actor, man, went into Scientology Winter Wonderland. Hold on, I messed myself up now. Let's turn the music down. Bring him up and let's listen.
I thought that was the premiere. My wife and I get out of the car, walk into the place. There's like Christmas trees all set up in front. No one.
Christmas trees all set up in front. What does this sound like, you guys? Jason Bateman thought he was going to a premiere just down the street between two buildings where he normally goes to do interviews and this kind of stuff. But what was it? Let's listen to the rest of his story.
No one there. I thought.
Now, he said there's no one there. I kind of cut that off, but that's important for you to hear.
Walk into the place. There's like Christmas trees all set up in front. No one there. I thought, oh, this is kind of a quaint premiere, I guess. And I get halfway in there, just a bunch of guys with black suits start walking out. I think, oh,
bunch of people with black suits. Who would that be? Security. Scientology security. And maybe even Sea Org members. Winter Wonderland. That's right, sent to Scientology. So great that he tells this. Exactly. Minding his own business, thinks he's at a premiere that nobody came to. And then he sees the people dressed in black.
Is the movie already over? No, these are a gang from the Scientology Center, which I just walked into.
Walked in to the Scientology Center over at Winter Wonderland.
So we were.
Oh my goodness. He walks in to Winter Wonderland. But how much do we love that he's like, wow, it's empty. Ooh, creepy people in black suits here. Like, what's happening? No one's there. Even actor, and let's be real, treasure. Jason Bateman's been around for a long time. I like Jason Bateman. I really like him in the Ozarks. One in the chat if you watch the Ozarks. if you watched. If not, you guys got to check out the Ozarks. Jason Bateman's in it. Oh my gosh, I'm going blank. The other, you would recognize her. You would recognize the other actress. Jersey Jan watches. Nancy Stegan. Yeah. Fuzzy Pink Handcuffs. Exactly. Sins, a Scientology watches. The Ozarks is amazing. It's one of my favorite shows that Jason Bateman has been in. But when you have this huge celebrity, he's been around since like I was a child, he has been acting, who even he recognizes no one is at Winter Wonderland. It is just this empty space, this empty, vapid space with people dressed in black and a lot of Christmas trees. This is what people think it is. This is how it's seen. This is the perception. He stumbled upon it. And this is what he thought. And then it becomes a joke and a punchline when he goes on and does this interview, which, let's be real, I love it so much. I love it so much. A Time to Change. I love his sister too. Oh my gosh, Justine, you're right. I forgot about her. Laura Linney. Thank you. Yes, the other person in the Ozarks. Thank you so much. Nomfic, I appreciate that. Old Fritz says, loved him with Lady Gaga. Can't remember the name of the film. Oh, I didn't know he made a film with Lady Gaga. I did not know that. That's right, Julie Markham. It's a trap. I mean, it was even giving those vibes. Laura Dern was married to Ben Harper, a Claremont, California native and musician. Oh, was it Laura Dern or was it Laura Linney? I forget. Rika, I love Arrested Development. Me too. I've rewatched it a couple of times. I really like it. Yeah, Desert Dog. I love that he got a good laugh when he said Scientology. I am going to link that down below. You got to see the whole thing because he does tell a little bit more and a little bit after, but I'm trying to make sure I fair use it. So Jimmy Kimmel's not all, you used our video clip. Take it down. That's how I imagine he sounds like sometimes, or at least his people do. How crazy was that? Oh, okay. I didn't know that, Rika. Justine is amazing. She rails against Hollywood plastic surgery. Bravo to two awesome siblings. Yes. I love that he shared that. Oh, that was Bradley Cooper that was in with Lady Gaga. If you're talking about that movie, that's what I thought too. Okay. Jolie. Oh my God, the conniptions that they must be having at the Cult of Scientology over this. He said this on Kimmel and everyone laughed. Exactly. Everyone laughed. Winter Wonderland is a joke. Scientology is a joke. It's a punchline. Scientology has completely lost control. They have. And, let's back up to the Hollywood Christmas parade and that fiasco and what happened. It's just more of that. They're just continuing down that road. Heck, I remember him from Little House on the Prairie. Jason Bateman was on Little House on the Prairie? Really, Lori? I didn't know this. I didn't watch that show though, but wow. I did not know that. Scientology up north. Jason Bateman on the cover of the next Freedom magazine. Jason Bateman visits Winter Wonderland and he loves it. Exactly. That'll be, I always keep an eye out for the Scientology press releases. So I am keeping an eye out. I am keeping an eye out for them for that. So Dan Walks LA is over at Winter Wonderland and shows us even more how and why Scientology has lost total and complete control. Watch this. For one, Scientology security is hiding from him. Just hiding. Some people back there having a great time, right? With the baby, taking some pictures. No Santa. Just security, just using it as a backdrop, a prop. That's what you become, Scientology. A backdrop, a prop. Same way at the blue buildings, people go to take pictures with the Scientology sign, not because it's this incredibly awesome space, because it's funny. to take pictures in front of a cult. It's like people taking pictures in the front of murder homes where things like that have happened. That's why they're there. Kristen Frost, thank you for saying this. If Scientology doesn't want to be the butt of jokes, they should quit being asses. Exactly. No kidding. So security is over there hiding. That looked like that was an actual Sea Org member security person versus the ones who were paid to be there. But there's more to it, you guys. While Dan Walks LA was there, check this out. You've got security here. Wait, he's on the phone. He's trying to find out, like, hey, what do I do? He's here. They're like, hide from him. They can see you. Dan goes over and shows like, oh, here's the building. And he goes around the building. And you see nobody is there as he goes around and around and around. So what Jason Bateman said is totally true. It's like nobody's there. I remember even last year, do you guys remember all of the footage? All of the footage from people there? And it was like, there were so many more people. People were lined up to go in. I mean, those are the images that Scientology is using to promote Winter Wonderland this year. But like nobody's there. And then they've got the trees all blocking. I mean, there's not even a Santa there. There was something else from this video I wanted to show you guys here. Security's out there. Oh, wait, those are other people. Security is hiding at this point. Again, still on the phone. This is sometime later. Just hiding, you know, that's normal. That's totally normal. Just going to hide over here. Nobody, they're like, you know, nobody is breaking down the doors to get into this place. But there was, I lost my clip. There was one more piece to this where there was a gentleman who looked like he was struggling with maybe some mental health issues or addiction. Here we go. And Scientology security just trying to get him out the door there, get him out of there because he was back there. This is like their worst nightmare for Scientology security. I think he's offering something to Dan, but Dan's like, yeah, no. But then he goes back and he actually takes a seat in the chair back there. This is literally one of Scientology's worst nightmare to have this happen. And their 8C tech of physically moving people, training routine 8 is not working. You'll notice the security guard is not putting his hands on him. He's just trying to use his words to get him to leave. Everybody's welcome. Not everybody's welcome. And now he has no choice but to be in view of the camera, because even though Dan's there, this guy's like sitting right there out in full view. And so I guess the guy could go hide behind the tree, but he's trying to get him out of there. Checking his phone. You see how he checked his phone? Like, what are they saying? What are they telling me? And they're not helping the guy, you know, offering him some water, at least something to be on his way. Tell me they didn't hand him any Scientology propaganda. Is that what that is there? It could be. It could be. And they're just not, you know, I feel sorry for the guy there, but I'm also like, how they're choosing to handle or not handle this is a huge part of the problem and issue. If you are a church out there doing public good, maybe you could at least like have some water or something for this guy. I mean, I get it. It's Winter Wonderland. It looks like he might be doing illicit drugs. You don't want him around families and kids. I get that. But there's just something watching him trying to handle this and attempting to, when Scientology has all these tools to confront and shatter suppression. Yeah, Rika, exactly. No carols being sung, no families and friends gathered in cheer. Literally the most pathetic Winter Wonderland ever. Oh, and then Penny was there too. Let's back up. I don't know have you guys met Penny? She pops in. She's been in a few videos.
Gender. I've been transgender for 3 years, but my pills wasn't working.
Dan talks to her for a little bit, but literally Scientology has just completely lost the plot here. Now the guy's trying to give something to security. I don't know. He's throwing things on the ground. He's kind of making a mess. Here's other people who are coming in and they're like, yeah, nope, we're out. We're out. Did you see that? This is it, Scientology. This is your winter wonderland. I agree. Penny is hilarious. Total new character unlock. This is your winter wonderland. You have completely, totally, and utterly lost control. There's no control going on over there. Maybe that's why you're so obsessively trying to control the lives of former members, either directly or indirectly. Directly with threatening disconnection if people don't take down their channels, and indirectly with the trolling and things you guys like to do to try and stir up trouble and create a bunch of issues that don't actually exist. It's a full-time job for Scientology. Yeah, Lisa Pete, so much magic, so much magic. It was a literal, when I was watching this, I'm like, this is a physical representation of the state of Scientology, just like the float was, the balloon that deflated and came down to the ground and no one could get it up again. It was just dragged through the streets of Hollywood. This just lead balloon, this dead balloon of Scientology. And it continues on here. Look what you're attracting, Scientology. This is not a winter wonderland. It is not. Anna Christie, treating the homeless like crap is not exclusive to Scientologists. The entire country does that. There is truth in that. There is truth in that. Let's see here. Oh, and by the way, Jason Bateman made his television debut in 1981 on Little House on the Prairie as James Cooper. Wow. I totally blanked that one out that he was out there. Maria, hey, from Greece, welcome. Yeah, I remember William and the others. Pack it up. They're using those pictures too? I'm not sure though. Yep, Anna Christie, I was so happy when the float wouldn't get off the ground. It was amazing. Cece says, thank you so much to the thousands of people that have seen it in their hearts to bring light on this. And some very lovely emojis. Exactly. There's no, the Christmas and the holidays is a magical time. That's what it's about. It doesn't even depend on what your belief system is. There's different things you can do to participate or not participate. But for me, it's really about the magic, doing things like with when my kids were little or now with my grandkids. And that is not magical, Scientology. It is not. Stasia, it's a grand old winter blunderland, right? Doesn't it feel that way? It does. Asen, Winter Wonderland. Maybe the wonder part is you wonder how creepy they can get. Exactly. Absolutely. It's bizarre. It's bizarre. I want to thank all you guys for your incredible kind words yesterday. Yesterday was a rough day. It started off, I was fine. I was going to do the recap. And then as you guys know, we had technical difficulties because StreamYard was having audio issues. So I thought I'll go run some errands. I'll come back. I'll do it and then get on with my workday. Well, the universe had other plans for me. I don't know what it is about the post office that makes me cry sometimes. I had to go to the post office. I made it in and out without making a scene because I feel like I need to stop. I feel like I make them uncomfortable when I cry at the post office. But when I left the post office, I just felt like so overwhelmed with grief. And I'm like, what? Where is this coming from? I mean, obviously, if you're new to my channel, I lost my partner 6 months ago. Well, it was 6 months ago yesterday. And I didn't even realize that at first until I was then getting ready to head home and realizing like, holy man, but I was already feeling all these feelings. And then I realized what the date was. So I thought it was interesting that it would all come in on the anniversary, the 6-month anniversary of his passing. But I wasn't even like thinking about it or thinking about the date. Anyways, it floored me. I was like, I needed to express some grief. And Lana came over, and my plan yesterday, because I think I even told you guys, like, I wanted to do some content with Lana and do some of that. It's like, no, I made chicken soup. I took a real whole chicken and vegetables and put it in a crock pot and seasoned it up and made chicken soup. And I put ginger and turmeric in there because I love those two tastes. And it was really good. And we laid in the recliners and we talked. I cried. We listened to music. We listened to the soundtrack from, some of you know, like the night before Tony died, when we were in the hospital. He almost died the night, like in the middle of the night. The whole team showed up. Our alarms were going off. This is when he was in the ICU. And I woke up because I was sleeping in there next to him and thought, well, this could be it. And Tony had a do not resuscitate in place. And I found myself reluctantly reminding them of that. But he was okay. His heart rate came back up and he was awake. And remember, he was on a ventilator. So he was like unconscious a lot of the time, but he would wake up. And he was up for quite a while. So I started playing music and he would like thumbs up down the songs. And each song he wanted to listen to, I put on a playlist right then and there so I wouldn't forget. And I made this playlist and I call it Tony's Playlist. And we played it when we scattered his ashes. And I listened to it often. And so we listened to Tony's playlist. We listened to the playlist from his celebration of life. It was just a beautiful day of grieving. And it was very needed. Jolie, I think it's awesome that you didn't realize it was the anniversary. It really shows how much work you've done to make a life for yourself. Tony would be proud. I agree. I totally agree. So it was a very rough day. And I just spent it with my sister, talking about things and just moving through the grief. And I also spent the day deciding that I'm going to go back home for his birthday in May and go back to the Big Island where we scattered his ashes. I have no idea how that's all going to come together. I just decided yesterday I'm doing it. I need that. I want something to look forward to like that and go to a place that, it's like home to me. Well, it is home to me. It's where I'm from. But Tony always said he felt so at home on the Big Island, which is why that's where we scattered his ashes. When did I realize it was the anniversary? After I was already a sobbing, crying mess, thinking I had to pull over. I did pull over. I had to go to the grocery store. And of course, I didn't have any tissue in my car. So I'm a crying mess thinking I need to pull over. Like, this is too much crying for driving. So I pulled over by where I was going to go to the grocery store. But I didn't want to go in looking like a mess. And I just, did some deep breathing and eventually made it into the grocery store, which is where I got the stuff to make the chicken soup. Buckled Up Buttercup says, someone told me that grief helps us gather up our scattered bits of memory and helps us carry them forward. I really like that. I like that too. That makes a lot of sense to me. Katie Fulton, thank you. I love you, Natalie. Wish I could be there to hug you. Love, Tony's always with you. That's so true. It's true. And that's like part of the process. And sometimes this is going to happen. And I'm getting better at being okay with it because initially I'm like, well, I have to work. I have like so much work to do. And I mean, let's be real. I wasn't going to get anything done anyways. And I just needed to experience that. And the world didn't end. We're all here today. YouTube goes on. It's my other job and work that I do. Nothing fell apart. I'm going to deal with things today. Lisa Pete, I love the Big Island. It's magic, right, Lisa? Isn't it absolutely magical? Kristen Frost, Big Island for a gigantic heart. Yeah, absolutely. Cat 76, I'm tearing up, sending you my love and a hug, Nat. I appreciate that. And I appreciate so much of your kind words when I did my community post and let you guys know yesterday. I just was not in a place where I could do a video. Mock, grief tends to block out certain aspects until it slams into your mind. That is what it feels like what happened. I was leaving the post office. And by the way, Marcy, if you're here, you are here. Marcy, thank you so much for the hat and for the Mahjong book. That was so kind. That was such a nice surprise. Marcy, I had this hat that says, I'll bring the bad decisions, this cap. And I put it on my Amazon wish list because I also wanted this book on how to play Mahjong because I'm starting to play with my neighbors. And Marcy sent that. And that was nice too. That was a really nice surprise. Thank you, Marcy. And so I picked that up. And then, like I said, it just hit me and I didn't understand it. And I just thought, okay, well, grief comes and goes, right? Don't judge it, just experience and process it. And by the time before I got to the grocery store, I realized what day it was, but I did not know. I was already upset. And then was like, when I was trying to figure out why right now, why always, when I go out. Maria says that's healthy, Natalie. It's okay to cry, even to the post office. Maria in Greece. Thank you. I feel like I don't know why. I don't know what it is about the post office. I really don't. I've gone in and left multiple times without crying, but there's been multiple times where I have cried there. Take us with you if you have to go out alone. That's not a bad idea, Cece. We could just live stream. That might be a thing. Amber, thank you so much for the hearts. Love you. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Yeah, Joe, music is a great comfort for keeping those memories alive. So true. And it was so perfect. I'm so glad to have that playlist. We listened to music for a few hours, and Tony, even though he was on a ventilator, was trying to sing. You could see his mouth moving, and he was trying to lift up his hand and kick out his leg just like he does or did when he would listen to music. And he was so happy. I think this was his rally. In hospice, they said that sometimes people right before they die, they rally, they get up, they seem to have this energy right before they pass. And that happened. I thought he was going to die in the middle of the night when all the alarms were going off and his heart rate was crashing. And the whole team came in. And again, he had to do not resuscitate. Well, I guess he wasn't ready then because he stuck around and we partied in the hospital for a couple hours. And I'll always have that music and that time. And that is so in alignment with who Tony was, that he would want to sing and dance. And interestingly, when I do those things, I feel so connected to him. That's what he loved to do. He was always singing. And we were always dancing in the kitchen randomly. Kristen Frost, this is why all you guys are the best community on here. Never change, you lovely people. I agree. Katie Fulton, always remember, take time to rest, and we're here to understand and support you. I appreciate it. And I really did that yesterday. And it just needed to happen. And it just so happens Lana was coming over that day. I don't even know that Lana knew that it was the 6-month anniversary. I actually didn't ask her. She was already set up to come. And then I lost my shit, really, is what happened. So it worked out perfect. And this is not the first time that that's happened, where Lana was lined up to come over or do a sister sleepover. And I just get hit with, that overwhelming grief. Slim Jim the Giant, you should listen to the song Marjorie by Taylor Swift. I feel it would mean a lot to you. Okay, I need to remember that. My little reminder, fairies. Marjorie by Taylor Swift. I need to look that up. Atkins in Texas says sneaks up on you. Yeah. And I bet a lot of you experience that too. And you're grieving if you've lost somebody or you're going through the process of loss. Apparently we have no control. We can't control or schedule our grief. Trust me, I've tried. I've tried. And it just doesn't work like that. It just doesn't work like that. Live stream at the P.O. Box. Maybe I just might. Maybe. Old Fritz says it sounds so perfect, Natalie, the way he passed with you all there with music. That's a gift. Yeah. And you guys remember I shared with you when Tony actually passed away, I was laying in the bed with him and the song Humble and Kind was on by Tim McGraw. And Tony had been trying to learn how to play that song on guitar. And at the very end, as the song ended, his head fell to the right, which is where I was. And he had just stopped breathing. It was the most peaceful. I mean, I'm sure all the drugs helped because I was like, I kept telling them, he seems like he's in distress. Give him more medication, because Tony was dying because the cancer was literally strangling him at that point. It was in his throat. And he was slowly and quickly, it was going to take over. And so, you know, he was on enough medication. They assured me that he would not feel any of that. But I kept pushing for more and more and more because I had promised him he's not going to feel any pain and that it'll be as peaceful as possible. And it was. His boys were there too, holding his hand. It was beautiful. If you have to lose somebody, I think having them pass in a way where there's so much peace and love in that moment and music that he loved. I mean, it was so, I couldn't have timed it better. And that just continues to happen. Is so many things keep happening in really great ways. It's where I'm just like, I just need to keep trusting that it's all going to work out. It just is. And in large part because so many of you being here and sharing and being so supportive. I appreciate you all so much. And it helps me so much to just be able to get up again. This morning, I was talking myself to, I was trying to get out of bed. And I was texting with Jenna, and she sent me a really nice message this morning. And I said, I'm trying to talk myself into getting out of bed and get into the shower, hype myself up. And she had wise advice too. She's like, you also don't need to do that. What do you just take it one step at a time. Just go take a shower and then see what happens, and then have some coffee and see what happens. And I did that. And here I am. I made it into the chair today. I made it into the chair. Joe says, that's what I want when it's my turn, for loved ones to play music loud and remember what I loved. Me too. I agree. Old Fritz says, sister relationships are the best if you're lucky. I completely agree. DBL, you're leaving to see your mom now. The hospice nurse called. I'm thinking of you. Everybody, if you could throw like hearts, whatever you do, if you pray, positive thoughts, any of that it's peaceful. That it's peaceful. And I'm glad that you get to be with your mom. Yeah, that song every time. Me too. Me too. Mary Huffman said, it's very much like water, comes and goes, up and down. Yeah, you're right. You're so right. A Time to Change says, my favorite is right before bed or while you trying to sleep. Worse if a dream with a minute. I guess unless it's a good dream. Thank you, Katie Fulton. I agree too. And I'm getting better with accepting that it's part of the process and it's just going to happen. It's just going to happen. Right. I'm going to get caught up on all of your comments too after this. So know that when I finish the recap, I go back and read the comments because sometimes there's too much to get through. Lori, is it your birthday today? Fixing itself so you could stream for me. Lori plays. Is it your birthday today? Happy birthday to you. Throw in some happy birthdays. Rika, I wish I could hug you. You miss your sister. I get it. I totally get it. I love that we can also all be here for each other and hold space for each other through, loss, love, all of the things. Chantel says, we played Elvis at my mom's service. She loved that man. I knew she'd want that. That is so beautiful that you were able to do that for your mom. Happy birthday, Lori plays. Absolutely. I love that you guys are saying happy birthday. That's incredible. Oh, that's fantastic. Happy birthday, Lori. I lost my place. What am I doing? Okay, you guys, here's the deal. Here's the deal. That's what I got for you today. Hit like, hit that subscribe, check your subscribe, y'all. And, set your notification bell to all. I heard that sometimes that helps with notifications. In the meantime, everybody, I hope everybody gets out today and just has an amazing cult-free day.